All right, what is going on, ladies and gentlemen? How is it going? I'm Is There No One Else? And today's video, we are going to go over this post from Matt Firor, who is an administrator for the Elder Scrolls Online. I forget exactly what his title is. But yeah, the title of the video, or of the forum post, is the ESO PvP Update, January of 2022. It's long past time to give everyone an update on where we are with PvP improvements. As many of you know, we did a series of tests over the last year to give us more data. These tests were successful and gave us the information we needed. We now have a plan going forward, but heads up, it is going to take some time. Okay. In short, just like we did for the client a year or so back when we introduced multi-threaded rendering to increase client frame rates, we are going to re-architect our server. The version of ESO in 2022 is many magnitudes larger and more complex than the ESO that launched in 2014. So, in order to give everyone a good play experience in high-intensity situations like PvP and trials, we need to essentially rewrite some of the foundational server code to account for it. This should dramatically increase server performance, but obviously we'll need to test and evaluate as we go along. We've been planning this for the last quarter, and we're starting work on it right now. But as you can imagine, changing fundamentals of a huge live game such as ESO is a delicate and multi-step process, so expect this to take up much of 2022. Much of the early work is going to happen behind the scenes, and we are definitely not going to rush it. A re-architecture of this magnitude will require the entire game to be retested and evaluated, as this particular code is the foundation on which the game is built. It will take tons of quality assurance and testing time as well, and I'm sure when the time comes, we'll do as large a test as we can on the PTS. I mean, maybe people will get together for this, but PTS population has been struggling through the last few years. I really recommend, Zos, that you do what you can to provide incentive. You know, even if you say stack of tempering alloys or something like that to everybody that comes and tests PvP, a lot of people might, just do something like that, or 1,000 crowns or 5,000 crowns. I don't know. I think you should provide incentives so that you can really test this and get people out there. In the meantime, we'll consider additional ways to keep Cyrodiil and Battlegrounds interesting and exciting. For example, potentially special rule sets or weekend events. Okay, and we'll continue to work on bug fixes affecting combat, but we won't be adding any new features to PvP until the work mentioned above is complete. Doing so would not only prolong the fixes we want to implement, but also exacerbate the issue of poor performance. I completely agree. Performance comes first. You got to work on performance. I have never disagreed with this at all. We completely understand the frustration many of you are feeling, especially with the lack of information about our PvP plans. This is a huge decision to make, and we needed to make sure we had exhausted all their possibilities before announcing this. Thanks for bearing with us, and we'll give you periodic updates about the re-architecture process over the course of the year. Okay, so there you go. Huge news. They are redoing the servers to handle a bigger server load, and I think this is... It's what we expected, right? And I understand that they wanted to test other cheaper... I mean, let's be honest. Like, if you're going to update things, you're going to try and find the best way that's also the cheapest way to improve things. And after doing all those tests and nothing really made a difference, there has to be something on the back end, and overhauling the servers is one way. I'm not an expert on this by any means. I did talk to somebody that... a while back that does a bunch of that works on this type of stuff, and his question is, you know, Microsoft purchased them, why don't they go to the cloud servers? You know, why don't they copy their game and use the cloud servers that Microsoft has? And to me, that seems like an easier process. I mean, like I said, I don't know. I don't know this, guys, but there's a little concern with rewriting a bunch of code because if I remember correctly, they use like C++ and SQL. I remember looking at the job description, and I know I said SQL. Some people will be like, it's SQL. I don't care. It's what it is. I've done a little bit of work on it, and all I will say is the coding on that is very, very in depth, and there's a lot of chances for things to fail, just like any other game coding. And so, yes, this is going to take a while. I wouldn't be surprised if this takes over a year. And so they're saying most of 2022. I wouldn't be surprised if this goes into 2023, like at all. And yeah, I mean, this is good to hear. But once again, this is what the community has been saying for a couple of years now. Like a couple of years now, this is what the community has been saying, is that servers need to be updated. And yeah, pulling teeth, we finally got there to where ZeniMax agrees that the servers need to be upgraded. And so this is a good sign in one way. It's been my concern in the back end that ZeniMax has been coasting as a company. And it's my concern that they're not really making big improvements to the game because they don't plan on investing more. They're just going to milk this game for what it is and then move on to the next game, like Elder Scrolls 6 or whatever else they're working on. And so they're just riding the ship, making it as profitable as possible until the wheels fall off and they're going to run it into the ground. I've said this in other videos. This is nothing different. But if they're actually doing this, if they're actually updating the servers and they're going forward with this, that kind of pokes a hole in that theory. You know, I'm not saying it's not true. I'm just saying that if they're actually going live with updating servers to improve performance and they're making this type of investment, it does poke a hole. And so that's exciting. I don't want to be right about that. That's not something I want to be right about. That's something that I would love to gloat for the next 5 years about how I was wrong. I would love to sit here 5 years, 6, 7 years down the road and just be like, yeah, remember that time when I thought that they were coasting and we're sitting on a game that works great and we're all playing a game we enjoy a lot with friends in the community that we have. So I'm I shouldn't say hopeful. We'll see. We'll see how this goes. Hopefully they keep us more updated. Very, very curious about the releasing, like when this got released. Some videos came out about a certain director's wife calling PvPers whiners.
You have accessibility issues in PvP zones. Have to delay, can't essay. Yeah. Wah, wah, wah. Okay. They're working on that too. Nice try. I have no sympathy for PvP, but that's because I know they are working on it.
And I wonder if this is just to kind of cover their bases or if this is always going to be planned this way. But regardless, this is good information. We should take it for what it is. We should also provide just criticism. Guys, here's the thing. If you're listening to this video and you've gotten this far, you enjoy this game, okay? You're not torturing yourself with this game because you don't like it. You enjoy it. And so let's just all acknowledge that we're at this point, if you're this far, you enjoy this game as much as I do. And we're all in the same, boat together, because that's the next chapter is we're going to be in boats or something. We're all in the same boat. And so we should all be pulling for each other to have improvements. That means PvE players, trial players, dungeon players, overland players, PvPers, battlegrounds players. All of us should be hoping for a better game performance because it brings more people into the community. More people that do overland content and enjoy that, they go to dungeon content, they go to trial content, they go to battlegrounds, they go to PvP. The more people that are playing and enjoying the game, the more robust the community is, the longer this game will last, the more you'll be able to play the game that you enjoy. And so it's not about starting wars with other sections of the community and calling PvEers toxic or PvPers toxic. That's bullshit. Okay? Like I'm just going to call a spade. That's bullshit. We have to quit doing that. We're all players enjoying the same freaking game. We all want the same thing, and that's for this game to succeed and thrive. And so we all have different ideas for what that is, and that's more than fine. We're different people, but let's be constructive about it. If we want our Argonians more lusty, let people that want more lusty Argonians have their place. If people want Khajiit to actually be useful, we should support that. If we want Red Guards to get the buffs they actually deserve because they've been nerfed for the last 3 or 4 years, we should be able to buff red guards. And if we can get a bard class at some point, you would make me a very, very happy person. So all these things are important because these are things that the community wants. And so it doesn't matter if it's at the top of my priority or the top of your priority. It's that these are things that we want because we want our game to be better. And so if this is done well, if what Matt Firor says is done well, this will be better for the game. And this is a good sign. And so we should enjoy that. We should ask more questions. We should continue pressing forward and, doing what we're doing to get the changes that we want. Because right now, this game is a shell of what it can be. That's not an insult. That is not an insult. This game can be so much more, and we all see it. So yeah, I'm gonna end this video here. If you guys have any questions or comments, please provide in the section below. As always, guys, thank you for watching. Have a nice day.